network and the comparison of advantage and disadvantage of different types of storage networks. So yesterday we looked into DAS network, NAS, and SAN. And we also looked into architecture of DAS, NAS, and SAN storage network and its advantage and disadvantage. So this morning we'll be looking at the advantage and disadvantage of these three networks. That's for DAS, NAS, and SAN. So, so our objective is to describe the characteristics of DAS, NAS, and SAN, which I believe we dealt with yesterday. But we will continue the lecture today. And we will also look at the advantages and the disadvantages of network technology. So also we looked into classification of network storages. Uh, we look into that. We look into DAS yesterday, the traditional storage technology. We also look into the storage area network and network attached storage. So briefly, in the way of recap, I said yesterday that data storage has become one of the popular technologies today and has created a new technological trend after the emergence of the internet. So, and also data storage has gone through three stages, which I said yesterday, which is three stages of development, which is one, direct attached storage, that's DAS, and network attached storage, that's NAS, and storage area network. So, so this data center storage network in view. So it's just to show us a topology. This is just showing us a topology of how an Ethernet is being run, redundancy is being removed, fiber channel, how fiber channel is being run over a SAN network. So that's it. This okay. So we looked also into SAN versus NAS, and I discussed that the communication file sharing protocol between these two is between these two is this, and this. I showed us yesterday. I showed us yesterday. So in a way of recap, we are discussing it again today. So in a way of recap, we are doing the same today. Then we also we also we also look into, so these are the five channel protocol. That's fiber channel SCSI and NFS, CIFS. So this support this does not support heterogeneous applications or operating system. SAN does not support heterogeneous. I said it yesterday. Non-heterogeneous. I asked you to check it yesterday. That that is that it only supports one application. No, sorry, it supports only SAN application and just not run on it, which is Windows. Because Windows Windows supports uh, uh, Windows supports FAT32 and NTFS. So Rama Abbas Yaris, please your country. Odumosu, you are welcome, please your country. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So let's continue. Now, but this supports heterogeneous. This is application one, application two, and application three. So, and I said yesterday that each are running on different OS, Windows OS, the way of recap, Linux, then Ubuntu. Ubuntu. So this you can run. So this is heterogeneous. This heterogeneous technology. So yesterday, in a way of summary, so I've explained to you. So and the file sharing protocol for each NFS, I already told the NFS supports other operating system. NFS must be mounted in other operating system, while CIFS is only mounted in Windows operating system. So let's move on. Let's move on. We also check the comparison of NAS. We checked yesterday. We checked yesterday. We checked yesterday the comparison of DAS and NAS. So the type of protocol in each system, the type of data transmission protocol, the SCSI, FC, and ATA. That's for DAS. We looked into this yesterday. So we also looked into the continuation. This is the continuation. So now we looked into DAS traditional storage technology, how DAS is being operated. So remember I said that this is a bus topology on single on a single cable, on a single joint cable. There is a database server attached, application server attached, file server attached, and client. This type of technology is very poor in terms of expansion, low storage capacity, utilization, low central management of data, and also response time is going to be slower. Queuing time is going to be much. Queuing time is queuing time is going to be is the queuing time here is going to be first in, first out. First in, first out. So this type of technology is only best suited for a small, medium enterprise when we have only one client or two maximum. Or when we are having 5 or 6, 7 on this network, they might not get any response throughout the rest of the day because of the response time. So then we looked into uh, definition of DAS. What is definition of DAS? For many of you that were wondering, oh, this is definition of DAS. So definition of DAS it refers to one or more storage devices that are directly, not the one directly connected to the server, which provide block storage servers services to the server. So we also talked about the classification of DAS yesterday. So we have internal DAS and external DAS. So that's it. Then you can see the example here. There's no switch or router in between. It is just directly connected to the storage device from the host to the storage device. So that's direct attached storage. So we also look into block storage based physical local hard disk, block storage based physical local hard disk, that for that system. So this is direct attached storage. So the kind of the physical local hard disk, I mean the connector, the type of connector we have in the market. So for that, HCIA are usually used by high speed SSD. So please take note, they are usually used by high speed SSD. So it is not required for this. So this is not an SSD drive. SSD does not support SSD. So look at it. So as cache drive in storage system. So doesn't support it. So then this fiber channel hard drives are obsolete. So fiber channel refers to the physical and data link layer protocol, which is true, while the application level still uses ATA or ATA or SCSI protocol. ATA or SCSI protocol. Okay. Fiber channel can also be used to transmit IP and other packets. Although FC drives are obsolete, but the FC interface are still in use. FC interface, FC interface are still in use. Please take note. FC interface are still in use. So SAS, okay, it uses SCSI. That attached storage supports SCSI and SAS. So SCSI means serial attached SCSI, which is this. You can see it here. Serial attached SCSI. For many of you wondering what is SAS, serial attached SCSI. So also we like to know that okay, SAS hard drives are more expensive, which is true, and has lower storage capacity than SATA drives. However, SAS is fully downward compatible with SATA drives, which means you can connect SATA drive and even use the same SAS cable I told you and interface. You can use SATA drive even with the same SAS cable and interface using SAS connector. You can connect your SATA drive using SAS connector. That's serial attached SCSI interface, but SAS drives cannot connect to SATA interface. So we also have SCSI. Parallel SCSI are obsolete. This is obsolete too. This is not supported. Then ATA. So we have PATA and SATA. So you see parallel ATA, IDE or parallel ATA. You can find this parallel ATA in the first edition of Intel systems. Talking about Pentium 1, Pentium 2 system, Pentium 3 system, Pentium 4 systems. In Intel system, you find PATA inside. That's parallel ATA. So it is no longer in use, so it is obsolete. So ID or parallel ATA, these hard drives are now obsolete, and x86 machines no longer provide ID interface. So in the place of PATA, we now have SATA. So SATA 3 x86 with that's Windows operating system architecture. So x86 is Windows architecture design for their hardware and operating system. So uses SATA interface by default. But to use the advanced features of SATA, you need to set it to HCI mode in the BIOS, which is true. If not, it will still be in ID compatible mode, which is known as ATA 6. So that's that. Okay. So that's that for this. Let's move on. Let's move on quickly. So what are the challenges faced by gas storage? What are the challenges faced by gas storage? That's poor scalability. When we talk about scalability in terms of expansion, in terms of expansion, it has limited number of disks. You cannot add more numbers of disks. And even if you try to do, you will have low performance in the disk write, in the disk write. The right, sorry, in the read and write, function, or you will not even have the best performance of each hard drive because of the latency in between, and there's not going to be throughput advancement. There is improvement. Sorry, there is going to be delay in read write mechanism or control. So then limited number of ports connecting to the host. Yes, which is true. So system needs to be offline during the maintenance of internal DAS, which is internal DAS. Internal DAS means that you have to open up the system to locate the hard drives. So then poor resource sharing capability, which is true. So let's move on. So having looked into DAS, let's look into SAN, storage area network. So we discussed this yesterday too. You see how the application server, which is your host, and storage. So the file sharing protocol here is this. Don't forget to communicate within your host and your server or storage device. The transmission protocol here is fiber channel or IP SAN. So so that's that. So host and storage devices can be independently expanded. So that is true. Then storage area network provides data transmission, which I just said now, between the host and storage devices. That's high data transmission rate in internal network, high rate of storage utilization. So let's move on. Let's look at block used virtualized network big scan. We discussed this yesterday too. So look at it. Um, SAN. So like yesterday, I said, okay, this is your host here. Don't forget, this is your storage device here. So the communication mode here is using FC switch. It's SCSI initiator. We are trying to introduce SCSI initiator. Sorry, we are trying to introduce host bus adapter. Host bus adapter encapsulates your SCSI initiator, encapsulate it, then to your controller, then to your controller, then to your controller. 1 minute. One minute, please. Everyone, 1 minute. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. So now, like I was saying, then discovery initiator. So here, this is your host here. This is your SAN area network. This is the app, OSI, that's operating system, application programming, interface, internal file system. Then at the back end, we have a SCSI. So the internal file system generates a SCSI initiator command, which is being encapsulated then forward it to HCIA, that's your host bus adapter, as a capsule encapsulation. So then as data packet and encapsulation, then fiber channel switch picks it up, then push it to your storage controller, which is your initiator in unit logical unit number. Then your controller breaks the CASI command initiator to receive it as encapsulation encapsulation. So then breaks it down into logical unit number. Then when it breaks down to the logical unit number, then forward the same, that's from CASI encapsulation to logic. That's the controller breaks down from CASI encapsulation to logic unit, the logical unit number. That's your controller breaks it down. Then in the same way, digest it and share it to your disk enclosure. So that's only then that data can be saved in your disk enclosure. Your controller breaks the SCSI command, SCSI command, it breaks it down. It arrives from FC switch, goes to your controller here. Then when it arrives at your controller, it arrives at your controller as SCSI encapsulation. Then controller now unveil the encapsulation. Then here comes the SCSI command. Then the controller now converts the SCSI command to logical unit number. Then after is forward down to your storage. I just use an analogy of like you want to use a drug, a capsule, and I said inside that capsule is called an encapsulation of the drug. Do you know why it was put into a capsule? Because the content inside that capsule could be very harmful, very bitter to the throat and the tongue and everything. So it has to be encapsulated so that when you are swallowing the pill, you don't feel it. Then when it gets into the system, into your stomach, yes, you can now likewise when it gets to the controller, then it now breaks it down, obey what's in the encapsulation. And inside the encapsulation lies your SCSI command. So then only then when it breaks it down to SCSI command, then it in the controller, when the controller breaks it down, it becomes logical unit number. Then only then the finished processing of SCSI command is logical unit number. Only then can it be stored into the drive. So let's continue. So I just showed us now IP-SAN uses TCP/IP as the base level transmission protocol, and it's a storage area network architecture that uses Ethernet as transmission medium. So you can see that that's used here, that's used SCSI to communicate from here to here. Then here is used fiber channel, and you can see the redundancy link. So then here, so I said yesterday that the difference between SCSI and iSCSI is the internet. So SCSI here works direct attached storage as file sharing protocol. But when it goes to IP-SAN, that's Internet Protocol SAN, it becomes Internet SCSI. So there's nothing much I want to talk here. Let me move on. We discussed yesterday. I'm just recapping. Then we also talk about component of SAN. We look at component of SAN. We look at component of SAN. Yesterday I explained to us, this is our host, this is our file sharing protocol, So from our host to our controller, there is going to be an interface card. There's going to be an interface card, network interface card. That's NIC. NIC. So, and at the back end of this storage controller, we have this channel task FC. So, let me rest my back. Okay. So that is that. Then we talked about this yesterday. So we want to look at the component. So I showed in this diagram, a complete stand system commonly includes the front and application channel server transmission network. That's a complete stand system commonly includes the front end application, which is this, then the transmission network, then storage device. That's for this. The components are these: application, transmission. These are the components of SAN network. This step node, storage device. So then so that's this. So this is the transmission network. That's IP, that's standard protocol or fiber channel. So let's move on. I've shown you the components. So yesterday, remember we discussed NIC plus initiator software. So I told us the difference between this and code, COE. That's TCP/IP offload engine. So this card relies fully on the CPU, the host CPU resource process. And this does not improve the throughput of data transmission. I said it yesterday. So this does not improve the data transmission. Like here I said, the initiator software completes the ISCSI packets to TCP/IP packet conversion and requires host CPU resource for this process. Now, that please I want us to look at this, underline this, underline this. I'll tell you why. Now, the initiator software completes the ISCSI packet, which is true. After it completes it, it converts it to TCP/IP packet conversion and requires host CPU resources. What are those CPU resources? That's your CPU architecture resources. When you do control alt delete, you see the taskbar manager. When you see the taskbar manager, you see your CPU resources. You see all the resources running, all the process running. So inside, among it is NIC is also sharing part of the resources, which is never even enough for the system to run other applications. So, but with the advent or the invent of code, COE, it eradicates that function. So let's look at the token NIC. Let's look at COE NIC. So let's see. So the difference between this and this, difference between this and this and this is performance. Both improve the performance, the throughput performance of data packet transmission. Now, here, the initiator software completes ISCSI level function and uses post processing resources. Then, when it gets to the card, this card is a network interface card. Then, TCP/IP protocol packet conversion is completed by COE NIC, which does not use host processing resources. It has its own independent resources. It does not rely on the system host processing resources. It has its own. So it is called so so it is called TCP IP or TCP offload engine. TCP IP offload engine is what I call it. So Ethernet connection based on TCP IP protocol. So this is it. That's the difference between that and that. So with this, it allows high increase in data transmission rate. So I've said it. So also it optimizes throughput. So let's look at HCIA. Let's look at HCIA. We are looking at HCIA HBA. So what is HCIA HBA? Anybody want to try? Anybody want to try? What is HCIA HBA? Why is it only my friend from India and Pakistan? I expect Nigerians to give it a shot. Where's Emmanuel? Pennyway's phone. Please, can you rename yourself? Thank you. Pennyway's phone. Rename yourself. Thank you. Please, any Nigerian should give it a shot. I'm having only foreigners here. Emmanuel, are you there? I want you to give it a shot. Ibrahim, Lanre, Odumosu. I said, anyone want to assist us with Ice HBA? What is the full meaning? Okay. So, T-Jax from Indian.
So, iCUSY host bus adapter HBA is basically like a network card, which, along with doing the layer 2 data transfer of network, also has a capability of converting IP packets into iCUSY and iCUSY to IP. So, encapsulation of iCUSY to IP and IP to iCUSY along with the normal network connectivity is what iCUSY HBA what does.
Okay.
Q logic and some of the
examples. Okay, thank you for that explanation, but don't go yet. Don't go yet. Teachers, I still have one more question for you.
Sure.
This is an acronym. ISCSI HBA has a meaning. So can you tell us the meaning? And you tell us the process, the function. Tell me the meaning. What does HBA stand for? What does iSCSI stands for?
HBA stands for host bus adapter, and iCUSY stand for what to say, CUSY over IP.
Okay, thank you very much. Then David from where are you? You've gone. Okay, Larry from Nigeria, because somebody just has to return Nigeria. Larry, you want to give it a try? Okay, while we are waiting for Larry, Ahmed Pradil from Pakistan, my friend from Pakistan, I want you to give it a try.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you for giving me a chance for participating. Sir, iSCSI, as we know with the common name, Internet Small Component Serial Interface. And when we talk about host bus adapter, so that means we have to provide the direct attachment with the switch or host to host connectivity. When we connect both, we need to place a card or controller that is called HBA for the direct attachment. Either it is with the switch or system to system, means host to host, or storage to host. Or when we talk about iSCSI means TCP/IP convergence. Means when we talk about iSCSI, so iSCSI uses traffic on the over Ethernet.
Okay, thank you. Then Larry, please, I want to hear from you. Larry, I want to hear from you. Hello, Larry, are you there? Okay, thank you. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, for clarification, ISCSI is Internet Small Computer System Interface, and HBA is host bus adapter. Now, this card is a card. Now, I installed on the host. It's installed on this host to achieve high efficient data transmission between host and switch, and between host and storage devices. So iSCSI and TCP, iSCSI and TCP protocol level functions are both completed by HB card installed on the host. I mean, iSCSI and TCP/IP protocol level functions are both completed by this card, HBA card. This card converts your iSCSI to TCP/IP. This is it here. Complete the data, the packet conversion of iSCSI and TCP protocol completely. Doesn't use host resources for this processing. It does its own process on its own. It has an inbuilt processor that does the conversion. So I'll quickly say from my note that iSCSI's HBA card, host bus adapter, are installed on the host to achieve highly efficient data transmission. Please don't forget that between host and switches and between host and storage devices. So that means you can use it on direct attached storage and storage area network. Now, so I also said that your HBA card installed on your host, which brings the host CPU resource consumption during the data transmission to minimum. Because don't forget, I said this card has its own processing CPU. This card has its own CPU. So it does its own iSCSI and encapsulation command to TCP/IP for transmission, for onward transmission. So it is very reliable, and not just only reliable, it does not rely on the CPU resources. It has its own inbuilt resources. Then also, quickly let me appreciate my friend that tried from Egypt and Pakistan, and Olalere for trying to attempt, and Emmanuel, I recognize you. Thank you. So that is that. So this method provides the best data transmission performance. This method using iSCSI host bus adapter gives the best transmission performance, data transmission performance. However, it comes with the highest cost to build this network compared to other networks. The iSCSI communication system inherits some of the features of SCSI protocol. In iSCSI communication, there is an initiator device. That initiator is a kind of input-output request and a target device. Don't worry, I'll be showing us how target and initiator, how they work in pictorial form at the lecture control. So after a connection is established between the initiator and the target acts as the master in the data transmission operation and controls the entire process. Example of target includes iSCSI, disk arrays, and iSCSI tape library. Don't worry, in the subsequent slide, I'll be showing you what I just said now. Just take note of iSCSI card. You know, we have mentioned, okay, don't worry, when I will ask us to mention the type of card, network card we have discussed today. So comparison. So comparison between FC SAN and IP SAN. So let's see. Don't forget fiber channel SAN and IP SAN. So IP SAN only requires very less hardware configuration. This year only require very less hardware configuration, and these hardwares are widely used. So this makes the cost of implementing IP SAN much lower than FC SAN. FC SAN is very expensive. IP SAN is not expensive. We have switches everywhere. We have Ethernet cable everywhere, very cheap. Ethernet cable, and you can travel 100 meters. So, and you can travel 100 meters. So it's very cheap. It requires less hardware and configuration. You can just run any of the class of IP address. You can run a class A, class B, or class C IP address in your network, and yet you still achieve your desired result. So we have the Cat5 cable, Cat5E, and we have the Cat6 cable too. So to run this, they are not quite expensive. So that is that. But so most of the hosts are already equipped with suitable network interface card, which is very true. Most of the hosts, most of the system we have in the market today already come with NIC card. Uh they already come with NIC card, that's network interface card. Even your system came with one too. Your computer system came with one. So that is that. Anyways, phone. Are you part of us? Please, if you are part of us, please rename yourself. Which country? I can rename you from here. I don't know your country. I can rename you from here. So if you can rename yourself, please do. I don't know which country you belong. I can just put any African country for you. I can say Ghana because I asked you to rename yourself. You didn't do that. So I'll just assume you're from Ghana. So Dr. Fagbola, please can you put your country? Thank you. Then Rema, please can you rename yourself? I'll do it for you here. I don't know where you are from. Maybe I'll just say you are from Nigeria. Then who is so if you can still rename yourself, very good. Abbas. Abbas should be from Nigeria. I told you this class is being monitored by Huawei and they want to identify you by your country. So it is not by my making. And I don't know why you don't want to put your country. I don't know why. So I have helped you out. Thank you. So yes, back to the class. And just quickly before we continue, I'd like to, if you are joining us for the first time, please, I want you to identify yourself. And if you are yet to download the material, please, I want you to, let's talk about it. But that's after the class. And also, after this class, there is an assignment. There's an assignment. There's a quiz assignment I've designed. So I've given us just 2 hours. Please I don't want you to deceive yourself. Be very honest with the questions. It's a way of preparing you for the storage exam at the end of this month. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if I don't want us to plan to fail, let's plan to succeed together. So I have taken my pen to design a test form, a mock exam. So, and I just want us to just use it to rate our performance, to see if you are actually following. So at the end of this break, at the end of this first section, at the end of this break, I'm going to drop the link. I'll drop 2 links. I'll drop one for the attendance, and I'll drop the other one for the quiz. So you have only 2 hours to attend to the question, then I will shut the link down. So please, it is for your own interest. my primary assignment is to lecture you or to teach you how our web product works and to prepare you for the exam, and which I believe I'm doing justice to that. So please, while I'm cooperating with you, also cooperate with me so that we can all succeed together. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the lecture. So yes, I said that IP stand requires only okay. Daniel from Ghana, please. I want to be very fast with it. Very, very fast with your question. God's from Ghana. You are raising up your hand. Okay. So so comparison between FCSAN and
Hello, sir.
FCSAN. Yes,
Hello,
please be
sir.
very fast with it. Yes, be very fast.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Sir, you said 2 hours for the quiz, and I'm asking what time to what time because I want. Is it during the break time?
During the break time. During the break time.
Okay, sir.
During
Okay,
the
sir.
break time. Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay.
So now the comparison between FC. So now I said, so for FCSAN, the network speed limit is varies between 4 GB to 8 GB to 16 GB. It very varies. Then depending on your network interface, depending on the configuration mode, so it can travel as far as 40 GB. According to this report, the network architecture, custom built optical network, and HD card, then uses existing IP networks. So I just said it now. You can use any of the IP networks, class A, class B, or class C. So if you want to know more about those classes, visit routing and switching class. You will get more details about that. So, so about that. So, and which I will also recommend that after this class, you can also join routing and switching course. So I learned it will be starting on Monday. So by Monday, by Friday, we'll be rounding up this course. So 2 courses will be running concurrently on Monday. That's big data and routing and switching. So if you're interested, let me know so that I can forward it to the respect. I can add it to the groups or send you the links. So thank you. So transmission distance. So you all can see it. I believe you all have already seen this screen. So let's move on so that we don't spend much time. So now, SAN storage application. SAN storage application. I have the next let's say 50 minutes to take the next line. So let me make it. So SAN storage architecture. SAN storage architecture application. Look at it. Data sharing, storage sharing, data backup, disaster recovery. These are what the application does. So you can take a screenshot of this. So he said, "Sir, please take a screenshot of this. It's very important. Please take a screenshot of it. And for you that have the notes, good for you. I don't have much explanation here. Then a SAN storage solution has the high total cost of ownership. High total cost of ownership. So hardware and experienced IT personnel is required. Is required. Then also is required. So also SAN is mostly used in medium and large enterprise. Data requirement of these companies are usually as high requirement require regarding the response time. So because most of the large enterprise, they are always interested in response time. And as a storage engineer or network engineer, you know, your response time on your network is very, very crucial, very important. And your the relationship between your host and your storage must be very reliable. And your system must be scalable. So and it must be designed for critical database application. And also it will be designed for unforeseen events. That's when we have DR, disaster recovery, and data backup plan. These are very, very important. So let's look at NAS technology. Let's look at NAS technology. So in this technology, we are looking at file sharing environment. That's file system is used for storing and organizing data in a structured form. A structured form. When we mean structured form, I discussed it with you guys now. Structured form. Let me give you an example. Now I told you we have today that is the file, block, file, block, then we have objects. I have it in my notes. Sorry, hold on 1 minute. I want to see I want to see my notes. I have it. There's a place I jot some things down. So yes, I've seen it. So in storage system, you know, files are shared into three. You have the file which is supported by identity to be sure. I've been lecturing off art since, so I need to be sure. So support network attached storage. Then this support storage area network. Then don't forget I said this one supports distributed file system. Distributed file system. Distributed file system. So please take note of this theory. It's very, very important. Now, file sharing involves data storage and access. File sharing involves data storage and access. In file sharing environment, users who create files can specify file using permission, and that is what type of permission you will agree with me in your computer system. You have a place whereby you have permission, you grant permission to administrator, you grant permission to guests, talking about your read, write, execute, append, delete list. Who has the right to delete a file? Who doesn't have right to delete file? So that's the type of permission I'm talking about. For other users and can control file changes. When files are shared, if more than one user access the same file at the same time, a method of protection is needed to maintain the integrity of the data. So the method used in traditional client server model is implemented by file sharing protocol and using distributed file system. You see, I just said it now that in the common method used in traditional client server is implemented by file sharing protocol and is using distributed file system DFS. So we have, having said that, we have network attached storage, we have storage area network, we also have distributed file system. So this also support it also supports block It's also support in DAS. So please take notes, take notes, take notes, take notes. Thank you. Let's move on. So file sharing, access data through network storage. Yes, file system needs to be mounted before it can be used. Please don't forget what is going to be mounted here. Let me discuss it quickly. And we move on. Don't forget I just said this. Need to be mounted before it is used on the host. If it's not mounted, it cannot communicate with your server. It cannot communicate with your server. It has to be mounted. It has to be mounted. So now, in the traditional client server model, remote file sharing can be achieved through the file sharing protocols such as FTP and FTP uh, and uh, and DFS. So object, object. They are called objects. So like that, let's do like that. So let me really discuss. 1 minute. Sorry, I'm married too. I'm married too. So I said okay. Okay, let me tell you the following examples of file. That's FTP. So FTP allows the transmission of data in network, which is true. It is a standard of file transmission protocol and uses TCP/IP. That's for many of us. FTP is in another word, in other terms, is somebody is wondering what's an FTP. An example of FTP is when you want to download. Okay, now when I ask you to download your material on Huawei, the communication model of you downloading into your system is only achievable through FTP. It's called file transfer protocol. So you are downloading, taking an information from the server to your system, download. Then you are uploading is when you are okay. I ask you to send me your material. That means your downloaded material. Send it to me. Your mode of sending it to me is you are uploading. So the communication protocol in between is FTP. So it is for file transfer protocol that allows transmission of data in network. It is a standard file sharing protocol or file transmission protocol and using TCP/IP in the server and client end of data transmission process. FTP data are not encapsulated during transmission, which means that there is no security protection on the data transmission. So that is that. So let's move on. So evolution of file sharing technologies. What are the evolution of file sharing technologies? So you can see these how technology started. Single PC. From single PC, you want to share file, you make use of any of the storage you have, whether CD, disk file, you burn it in your CD. In the days of floppy disk, can you remember the days of floppy disk? That's diskette. When you want to copy a file, you remember the days of CD. You remember the days of external drive is the same, but external drive is part of file sharing technologies. So from there, we discovered different type of networks. Talking about local area network, we have the bus topology, we have the ring topology, we have the star topology, so we have the mesh topology. So all of this are discussed in routing and switching. So I will advise you to get to routing and switching and follow up the course. But if you want to know more about network topology, so this is a bus topology right in front of us here. So it's talking about local area network file sharing. So instead of using CD, USB, flash, and the rest, it's been eradicated. So please, in your institution, if you are working in an ICT and you still use flash, please, it is against the policy. Seriously, we are far behind technology because I could remember when I joined where I work, and I've noticed that even in ICT where we have so many network cables flying here and there, and yet we still use flash to copy information from one laptop to the other in ICT. It is very wrong. It is very, very wrong. I have to stop that uh, obsolete arrangement and make use of the Ethernet cables flying here and there. We have different switches. We have Ethernet cables lying fallow, doing nothing. We only use it for the internet, and when there's no internet, the cables are redundant. The switches are abandoned. So when I came up, I put all those things to use. I made them understand that it is very possible that we can use our network not only for the internet alone, we can also use it for file sharing purposes. So if you are also in this category, and I know many of us might fall on this category, please go back to your ICT and give it a new life. Make use of the LAN inside of it. Eradicate the use of flash coupling from one flash to the another. As far as there are network points in each offices, then you can always transmit data. You can always transfer data, files. You can copy any file, and you can also build security on your network. So that is why you are there as a network administrator, as a system administrator, as a storage administrator. You cannot be there and you are still using flash. It is not professional. Thank you. So let's continue. So we are looking at the evolution of file sharing technologies. So then look at this. Please look at this. Then we get to file server sharing. You can see file server sharing. You can see the way this is your host. This is also your host. This sends message to the file server, and from file server to the host storage system. So that's that for this. Let's move on. Then that's network attached storage. This is why we are here. So on this type of technology, so we can see our application server, we can see our file server, and we can see our storage device. So all of these are attached on a bus network. So NAS, that's network attached storage, connects storage devices to an existing network to provide data and file service. NAS generally consists of several components such as storage hardware, operating systems, and a file system. It is based on TCP/IP protocol to and achieve file level data access services. Instead of relying on a common operating system, NAS connects storage devices through a standard network topology, eliminating the need for dedicated server to access the network. Okay, so user-oriented operating system designed for data storage with all the required protocol built in, therefore making the management and setup of the entire system relatively simple. So NAS is mainly used for highly efficient file sharing system, which is suitable for scenarios where large capacity file transmission sharing over the network is required. So what are the points here? So NAS, that's network attached storage, refers to storage device that connects to network that is able to provide data storage and file sharing, file services. It supports network file sharing protocols such as CIFS and NFS. So I've discussed this. NAS actually can be considered as an optimized file server. So let's look at common NAS protocol. So don't worry, after this class, we will be discussing extensively on this. So after this module, so when we come back from the break, we'll be discussing this. So I might not discuss this now. When we get to that, we'll cross it in the next slide. Because in the next we're talking about storage technologies, storage protocols. So now common NAS protocols. I told you that this network is heterogeneous. I explained it to us heterogeneous to support more than one operating system. This is one operating system here. This is another operating system that you can see. You can see it. You can see this is file server here. This is it. So when it comes in here, it comes in as a server message block. This comes in as server message block. This comes in as network file system. So network file system. So when it gets here, it's being broken down again to file system, cache, and storage pool. So please go and read more on this. I don't want to waste most of our time. I've explained to us in details so we can cover more. So let's look at and generic server and NAS NAS device. So this is OSI layer for NAS devices. So you can see application, print driver, print system, operating system network. This is the file server here, file server, generic server, Windows or Unix. So it said it supports Windows and Unix using the file sharing protocol that's this. The file sharing protocol which is this. So let's move on. Let's move on. So that's why this tool was supported. So generic server refers to all the different type of servers such as web server, application server, mail server, virtual server. In this context, in the diagram above shows that NAS devices are compatible and able to provide storage and file services universally to any type of servers as long as they support the same file system. So what are the benefits of NAS? Let's look at the benefit of NAS. What are the benefits of NAS? NAS provide the following benefits. That supports NAS NAS supports comprehensive and global access information, increased efficiency, increased flexibility, centralized storage, simplified, simplifies management, scalability and expansion, high availability through local clustering, then provide integrated environment for storage and user authentication and role management. So it is also secure. For security reasons, it provides user authentication and role management. So that is that for that. That is that for that. So in summary, we've discussed data centers storage network. We discussed the architecture of DAS, SAN, and NFS. We looked at the advantages and disadvantage of DAS, SAN, and NFS network technology. So let's look at this question together. Anyone want to try? Raise up your hand. Anyone want to try? Please raise up your hand. If you are just joining us, you are welcome. Please, there's no harm in trying. It shows to me that you are very ready and prepared for the exam. I'm the one to I'm the one to send you your exam voucher to register you. I'm going to register you for the exam. So there's no way I can be so confident about you because you must pass this exam. I won't be where you are, but I can be confident that even when I'm not there, you won't let me down. So please, I need all your attention in this class. So everyone should try to attempt this question in front of me. Thank you. I'm waiting for a response. I'm only having 2 hands. I need more hands. Majorly people from Nigeria. I don't know what's happening today. What's happening? Emmanuel Odumosu Adeshola, then Lanre, I'm not seeing your hands. Susan, you are quiet. Is everything okay? Please, I need to see your hands. I need to see you guys trying the question. So when I give you the orders to speak, you can try 1 and 2 at the same time. All of you are going to try. So you can try 1 and 2 at the same time. So let me start from Suzani from Iraq. You can try 1 and 2 at the same time. Good morning, you are welcome. Can you come again, please? Okay. I will give you just half mark. You know why I'm going to give you half mark? Because I'm not seeing just 4 there. So I am seeing an information behind it. So can you tell us the information behind it? Suzanne? Yes. You said 4, 8, and 16. So can you? I'm not just seeing 4. 4 is not standing alone. I'm not seeing 8 standing alone, and I'm not seeing 16 standing alone. So can you be more detailed about your answer? Thank you. Okay. All right. Oh, well, as IT student or ICT student or computer science student, we expect to be more detailed with our answers. We don't just say 4, 8, and 16. So there are other informations after the 4. We're having other information. So yes, can I have Ahmed Quadri from Pakistan quickly?
Sir, can I participate for question number
Yeah,
1?
sure.
Yeah,
Hello, participate in 1 and 2 at the same
Oh,
time.
sure, sir. Its answer is A, B, and D. Because
So
of that, 4
what do we
GB,
have in A, B, and C?
4
D.
4
What do we have
GB,
there?
8 GB, and 16 GB.
Okay, what is 4 GB?
4 GB is the earlier scenario. In the past scenario, the controller was used to have a 4 Gbps support for the fiber channel.
Okay, okay,
And in
okay.
the next
Thank you very
recent,
much, Ahmed. Ahmed, I need to give other people a chance. Thank you very much. So I'm David Asun from Ghana.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. David? Okay, T-Jax from India.
For question number 1, the answer is 4 Gbps, 8 gigabits per second, and 16 gigabits per second for the FC protocol. And for the question number 2, what are the common protocols in SAN, then the answer lies with FC, that is fiber channel, and FCV, fiber channel over Ethernet. So
Okay.
these are the two answers for question number 2.
Okay, thank you. Then Emmanuel from Nigeria. Finally, Nigerians are coming up. Now I can sit and be comfortable now. So Emmanuel,
Yeah, I agree with all the answers. Number one is A, B, D, being 4 GB, 8 GB, and 16 GB. While number two is ABC, fiber channel, internet, small computer, system interface, then fiber channel over Ethernet.
okay, thank you. Lanre Olalere. Now I'm happy that Nigerians are coming up.
Okay, for number one, I'll go for 4 GB, 8 GB, and 16 GB. And then number two, fiber channel. That's A. B. Internet small computer system interface. And C. Fiber channel over Ethernet.
Thank you very much, Olalere. I really appreciate that. It was in detail. So then Ebenezer Oduro from Ghana. Ebenezer, are you there? Okay, Ademola, can I have you? Thank you. Ademola, are you there? Okay, David Asun. Okay, Ademola.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, for the first one, the first question, what is the data transmission rate of fiber channel protocol? A 4 GB per second, 8 GB per second, which is B, then D 16 GB per second. And for the second question, what are the common protocols in SAN? I have A, fiber channel, B, internet small computer system interface, and C, fiber channel over Ethernet.
Okay, just before you go, I haven't said SAN. I want to believe that we are in a ICT class. So, what is SAN? What is an acronym of SAN?
SAN is storage area network, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Ademola. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Then I'm seeing Dr. Fagbola's hand on. Please, I want you to try. I want more Nigerians to come up. So, do I have you? Dr. Fagbola?
Yes, I do what you say. But from your point of view,
Okay. Okay. Let me mute everybody.
yes.
Let me mute everybody. Thank you. Thank you for trying. Thank you for trying. Ebenezer, yes, Ebenezer, you want to try? All right. Okay. Okay, you can speak. Dr. Fagbola, you can speak. I believe he's having a network issue. Okay, David still wants to try.
Hello.
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Question one.
Hey, sorry. Sorry, please. Who is talking? Is it David Asun?
David. Yes, David.
Okay, okay.
Question one. The answer is A, 4 GB, B, 8 GB, and D, 16 GB. And then the question two is A, fiber channel, B, HCIA, internet small computer system interface, and C, FCOE.
FCOE
fiber channel over Ethernet.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't let the people of Ghana down. You are the one representing Ghana here, and I'm encouraged. Thank you for trying. Ebenezer from Ghana, you want to support David from Ghana? I can hear you, but it's very low. You are very distinct. I'm not sure you're on this planet. Okay. Thank you for trying, Ebenezer. Then Benny Wasteful, you want to try? Speak up.
Yeah. Question one is for A 4 gigabyte, B 8 gigabyte, C 10 gigabyte, and D 16 gigabyte. And then question two is A fiber channel, B internet small computer system interface, and then C fiber channel over Ethernet.
Okay, thank you very much. Please rename yourself Benny's phone. Please. Thank you. Thank you everyone for trying. I'm really impressed. And there's one thing about answering Huawei question. Please, see this question like we're having a lab class or an interview. This question says, what is the data transmission rate of fiber channel protocol? While I was addressing Suzanne, which was our first attempt, she tried, she just said 4, 8, A, B, D. And we needed to be very sure because this is an oral interview. This is not a paper-based interview. So she just said A, B, and D. That is not the best way to answer. The best way to answer is 4 gigabytes. Now we are not even seeing, for those that say per second, the answer, the illustration in front of us is what you should give back to the lecturer. It is what he gave to you, you should give back. The options are not having per seconds, so you don't give me back per seconds. So 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, and 16 gigabytes, which we are very correct. For those that said 4 gigabytes, Suzanne is very correct. Everyone that tried is very correct. And Olalere too did well, very correct. And my friend from Ghana did excellently well. Emmanuel too did excellently well. So, and for the question two, that is what are the common protocols in storage area network? I'm happy you all got it right. ABC. That's fiber channel. HCIA, that's internet small computer system interface. Then C is fiber channel over Ethernet. So I give all of you a big round of applause. You all have made me proud this morning, and it's worth the effort. Thank you very much. So yes, the reason why we took much of this time is to let us know that we are done with this section. We are done with this section. That's storage area network technologies. Storage network technologies. We've dealt with storage network technology. So we'll be discussing in the next class. We'll be discussing in the next class. We'll be looking at we'll be looking at we'll be introducing us to common storage protocols. We'll be looking at storage protocols. We'll be looking at common storage protocols. So we'll be dealing with that quickly. We won't waste much time on that. So I'm calling it for to come up. So I can just introduce us in the next 10 minutes, then I'll give us room to ask questions. I'll give us room to ask questions. 1 minute. One minute. I'll give us room to ask questions. Sorry. So yeah, I'm introducing us to introduce common protocols. So these are the common protocols. In the next class, when we'll be coming back we'll be having a break